Hey guys, welcome to my channel where I feature tours of tiny and alternative homes. In today's video, we travel to beautiful Montana to take a look at one couple's rustic farmhouse style tiny home. But first, I want to tell you how you could win your very own customizable tiny home and support a great cause at the same time. Imagine winning a tiny house built by Modern Tiny Living with a value up to $100,000, and you get to fully customize the design. If I had a chance to do it all over again and customize a tiny house with that kind of budget, I would learn from all the tiny house tours that I've shot over the years and make something super sleek and functional with a downstairs sleeping option. Omaze is partnered with PATH, a charity to end homelessness, and every donation supports their cause. PATH will remain on the front line of the COVID-19 crisis, and now more than ever, their work is saving lives. To potentially win the tiny home of your dreams and support PATH, visit omaze.com/THGJ. Donate $10 and enter for your chance to win. My tiny house has done a lot for me over the past 6 years, and I know a tiny house could do the same for you. It changed my life in many ways, and it taught me to reprioritize my personal values. Okay guys, if you're ready for this week's tiny house tour, let's jump right in.
Make this house our tiny home.
I'm Derek.
I'm Kelly.
And this is our beautiful house, Tiny House Big Sky. Before we built our tiny house, I was a contractor doing residential remodeling and additions and that kind of thing.
And I was a board certified behavior analyst. And we lived in our rental home, which was about
1,200 square feet. We found out about tiny living, like a lot of people, I think, who stumbled across a show on TV. And I think we watched a handful and came across an episode that actually had Jenna in it when they were taking their house across the country and showed how they built it and that kind of thing. We got really excited. We went out, we bought a trailer. Then we realized, oh, we want to get RV certified. Once we got approval, the build on this, we got done in about another 8 months.
Derek taught me a lot about construction. I learned a ton. Good days and bad days throughout the build, for sure. As anyone knows, when you're taking on such a huge project with your spouse, it's not always going to be rainbows and butterflies, but I think it was a good experience for us to work on something together, and we're super proud of what we made. So I think total it was about 35 grand in material and then free labor.
Yeah. Lots of free labor.
Yeah.
We found we could save money in some places, and we tended to spend that in others. You know, there were a lot of these like more RV specific things that were very expensive. It adds up quickly. We spent a lot of time hunting for materials. We bought these countertops. They were reclaimed and we saved some money, but then they were a foot short and we had to add walnut inlays and do a bunch of different funky things to try and make the material work.
But it turned out better than a new countertop.
It did turn out pretty awesome, yes. The stove that we have, we had looked and looked and looked. I was a day away from ordering just a brand new black one that, you know, that you'd see in any new RV. And this one that we have here came up on Craigslist and, you know, was half the price of the new one, and it was perfect. I mean, it's one of the highlights of our house. I feel like everybody just loves it. I think it's just given us an opportunity to learn how to live with each other a little bit better. You know, we still want to kill each other sometimes, and I don't know if the small space helps that or hinders it, or if it'd be the same, and it'd probably be the same. I do know that we just really love it here. It's not where the house is parked, it's the house itself, and it's just like, it's home. So we built the house on a 24-foot trailer, but the total length is 27 feet. We wanted to make sure the lofts were kind of open inside. And how we did that, we extended this back loft out 3 feet and actually hung this deck from the loft, so this extends off the back of the trailer. It's been great, except when we go to move the house, I have to make sure I'm very careful because the back end really likes to swing now because the wheels are in the middle of the trailer now instead of being a little further back. I learned that the hard way by clipping a tree the first time we went to park it, and it wasn't great, so. So we decided we wanted the house to be RV certified, and we were able to do that through the state of Washington. In order to do that, we had to include a lot of the standard RV features, like your water hookup, power hookup. We have the same kind of sewer hookup. One of the important features is the heat recovery ventilator. We installed that because indoor air quality in tiny houses can be a major problem. There's issues with mold, etc. And we wanted to make sure there was constantly fresh air going in and out of the house. So underneath the house, or built into the floor system, we have a pair of tanks for fresh water and a pair of tanks for gray water. The capacity of both those systems is 70 gallons, just to help us if we wanted to be off grid and wanted to be out somewhere we could. I don't know if we're gonna end up using it, but it could be off grid just like an RV.
Welcome to the inside of our home. In here we tried to go with a vintage farmhouse kind of feel. Have lots of antiques in here. We've got solid hardwood floors, shiplap walls, and tongue and groove ceiling. We love all of those. They did add to the weight, however. We also have 3 skylights which add to the light in here. We can crank those open and let the hot air out sometimes as well. So we have a table here which folds out to make it bigger, and then it also folds down to kind of make it disappear to give us more space in here. We love having friends over to play games, and sometimes Derek and I can have a dinner here as well. So underneath the sink is a Craigslist find that I hunted and hunted and hunted for, and finally found the right size and height. It's about 110 years old. I love it. I think it is my favorite thing in the house. We just replaced the knobs, and I really love the way that it turned out. Because we have a dog and a cat, we had to find some place to put the litter box. We were luckily able to put it right under here. The curtain over it, it's kind of hidden out of the way, which is really nice. One thing to note is our full-size fridge. It's somewhat uncommon for a tiny house. We were able to get kind of a European style fridge that's narrow and tall. Because we're out here on the ranch, we have to have a full-size fridge to stash all the necessary food for about a week or so we're not making several trips into town. We were able to put a somewhat decent sized closet here in the bathroom where we can hang up our coats and our dresses and nicer clothes. So for our shower, we have a horse trough as a tub. It's really nice because you can get down low and soak. We have exposed copper plumbing just to kind of go with the feel of the house, and a rainhead shower, which is actually just a galvanized bucket that we drilled holes in. It's quite nice. So this area in the house is made up of a lot of thrift store or antique finds. For instance, this really awesome dresser I got for $5 at a thrift store, so good find. And then this antique bowl we found and thought it would be perfect for a vessel sink. So we just had a local guy drill a hole in it and made it into a sink. What everyone always wonders with a tiny house is the toilet. We went with the Airhead composting toilet because it has more of a ceramic style lid and seat on it. It just seems a little bit more like a real toilet. It separates the liquids and solids. So what Airhead actually does is they make a tank with a fitting on the bottom so that you can actually plumb it into your gray water tank, which is what we did, and it's made a huge difference for us to not have to take that thing out every few days. So also in the bathroom we have our washer dryer combo. It's really great. It actually dries our clothes. I know some people with the combo units have a hard time with that. But it works well for us because it's small and it kind of fit well in this cabinet. Derek and I custom made this, took a lot of planning to kind of get what we wanted from it. There's storage underneath that pulls out and the lids flip over and turn into ottomans. And then it also slides out into a pretty good sized bed for when we have guests coming over. Well, welcome to our guest loft. This is kind of a futon, so it folds out into a bed as well for when we do have guests. And it's a pretty great place to hang out. So this here is a really big piece of our house. It obviously stands out in the house, but it's also a dedication to my mom who passed away. She loved the idea of a tiny house. We weren't able to get it done before she passed, but we wanted to put something in here just to remind us of her. The story behind the butterfly is my best friend got married that year and they were really close. And during her vows, she mentioned my mom and how she wished that she was there. And right at that moment, a big butterfly came and flew around her head and then kind of flew off. So since then, butterflies have kind of been a reminder of my mom. So here we are up in the master loft where Derek and I sleep. It's actually 12 feet long, so it gives us a ton of room for storage and a big bed. We have this big skylight here, which I think helps with ceiling height. Number one, it gives us, about 6 inches extra, so it doesn't seem as claustrophobic or make the ceiling seem so low. For our ceiling, we chose tongue and groove, and we stained it a bunch of different shades and kind of made a pattern with it. And I think it really adds to the kind of rustic farmhouse feel that we were going for. I love when people come into our house and feel inspired to make their home their own by adding their own personal touches. I know I worked really hard to make our house feel like that. Our plans for the future are pretty much here at the ranch. We don't anticipate moving the house too much more.
We're hoping to turn more to farming and hopefully make a living off of it. And that's something I don't think we could have done if we were living in a regular big house. I don't think we would have been able to make this jump.
Thanks for watching this week's video. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe to see more. And don't forget to enter to win your very own tiny home at omaze.com/THGJ.